What's going on, Gemini? Welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of October 12th through the 18th of 2020. Of course, Brian here with you. Thanks so much for being here. We got a lot going on. We got a Mercury retrograde in your 6th house. We got a big T-square to your 8th house. New moon taking place in your 5th house. We got Mars in your 11th house opposing this new moon. There's a lot going on. Let's jump into the chart. Mercury retrograde in that 6th house. That's on Tuesday. It's a big deal. This is an intense Mercury retrograde. It's going to bring up a lot of deepness about how you communicate in your reality. It's also about how you think about what reality should look like. And of course, it's opposing Uranus in your 12th house. I think it's a breakaway here into something magical, but only if you're willing to see the magic and connect to it. And if you're not willing to connect to what is magical, I think reality can feel or even look or be processed within you in a really, really stressful, weird way. So this is kind of like, what do you want to build on here? You know, Virgo, where are you going to go? And are you willing to surrender to something greater and disconnect from what isn't great? Are you going to connect with the spiritual side of life or just reality, or are you going to blend the two? And there's definitely a balance in blending the two. We live in a physical world. That's very important. So we got the new moon on Friday. This is a huge new moon, really big. It's in opposition to Mars and Aries in your 11th house. Of course, the new moon in your 5th house. This is major jumping into owning the king or queen within you, I would say, in a big way, and holding on to that energy. Remember, the North Node is in your 1st house. I mean, you're in a time right now where it is about you, Gemini. It is about your identity, your ego, how you identify, what you identify with, who you identify with, especially with Mars retrograde in your 11th. Who's in your circle? Are they on the same vibe with you? Is there a true connection? If there's not, I think there has to be disconnection so that you can step into yourself. There's a uniqueness and a rebellious side here with the 11th house that it has to go and be objective to what it truly wants and who it truly wants to connect with to really see the bigger picture of things. And I think the bigger picture is in what aligns with your heart. What aligns with your true identity? What is going to let you shine? Who are the people that are going to let you shine? And who's restricting you from your shine? And that's super important. And the transformation is with Capricorn, with Pluto and Saturn making the T-square on Friday to that new moon. I mean, this is a major transformation of the deep psychological emotions that are either holding you back or keeping you stuck in what you value. What physical things are holding you back from the true transformation of depth within you? And because of course the opposite is, your 2nd house. It's the physical, it's the values. But you got to be able to transform and reconnect to values and people that make sense and that see you for who you are. That 2nd house is about the confidence from within you because you love yourself. And same with the sun. There's a lot about loving yourself and making sure that the connections are deep here. People have to be aligned with the heart for you right now, Gemini. If they're not, it's not going to work out. It's going to stress you out. It's all about the people. And that Mercury retrograde is going to bring it to mind in your immediate reality. And you're going to already get the higher octave of Mercury. That antenna is way up there with Uranus. You're going to know on a deep spiritual, emotional level this week what you need to connect from, to connect to your values, to connect to something bigger, to move forward and transform. Saturn here is it could be restrictive. I think you could restrict yourself from the transformation that you're going through if you're not willing to make the big out of this world Uranian decision with Mercury retrograde in opposition. And with this new moon trying to force it out, I think it's, we don't want to get too stuck on what the consensus of everything is. We have to break away and see what really aligns with yourself so that you can align with the people that see the vision that you see and that you can move forward in a really beautiful, transformative way with those people. And it has to align with who you are. It has to align with your values, and you have to be objective and make the call. And, you don't want to get stuck here. These are fixed energy houses. You don't want to get stuck or fixate on things that aren't going to let your soul evolve. You got to listen to the change that's coming in. Uranus is trying to bring you a higher, very higher spiritual connection here. And, it's bringing it to mind, and having Mercury look at it right in the eye for another week and a half. So it's major. Venus here is going to oppose Neptune this week as well for you. Venus in your 4th house is like, you got to take care of yourself, right? But are you going to be delusional about where you're going in that 10th house? About the goals that you have? Are your goals aligned with a deep emotional connection to yourself? And if they're not, then there's no foundation, and there's no beauty, and there's no harmony. And you have to be able to see through that. And the veil's thin, so you should be able to. Venus is also earlier in the week going to sextile Mercury. So I would say it's that reality that is nurturing, that is connected to something bigger that you can build from, that you can dig your roots in and grow from, that are going to take you. It's not that the 10th house is a complete mystery right now. You just have to be able to see it and connect to something bigger, and the goals will be more clear. And it's about the people you keep in your life, and it's about the transformation deep within you right now that's going to make that stuff pop. And, I think it can feel stressful this week. And even for the next 3 weeks, even a little bit longer with the Mercury shadow, although Mercury is going to come back into your 5th house. So there's definitely a courageous aspect here where you have to be able to be courageous in your reality to psychologically disconnect from what you think is the most important thing in your life and really grab on to what Spirit's telling you to grab onto, because that's going to remove the veil and take you to where you want to go. And this week is a big step in that direction if you're ready for it. The star card reversed, Gemini. You gotta trust in something bigger. It's so funny this card came up. You're on a new journey. There's transformation happening, but if you're not willing to tune in to your guides, to the universe, to follow the stars, and you think that you're just the fool on the journey, I mean, the star card reversed, it almost feels like the fool. Like, am I the fool for starting something new? No, you just have to be willing to surrender, and, the vulnerability even of being naked in this world, and moving forward with that, and not worrying or stressing, and just knowing that you're guided, and that you're newly birthed, and that you have the answers, and that you are going to figure it out from a higher perspective. And it's pretty deep for sure this week for you, Gemini. But don't let the fog, slow down in the fog. I would say in a car, slow down a little bit, be cautious, but you can always see through it, and you can always get through it if you're willing to, I would say push, and make sure that you push with the right people. Make sure that you're on your journey and in your own true, authentic self, and disconnecting from what isn't of that truth, so that you can connect to something bigger and better that's aligned with your heart and is going to make everything change. It's a big week, Gemini, and I wish you the best. I love you very much, and I will catch you next time. Peace.